Hey guys, sorry I can't be with you this afternoon. So you're going to work asynchronously today. We are continuing the assignment that we started last class period. So when you go to the materials page on Schoology, you can kind of see here, if you click here, this will take you to today's assignment folder, or you can just follow the orange folders in the Design Infinite Possibility folder. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and click here. And that takes us to today's folder. This is the assignment that's due today. You should have posted your work in progress to Seesaw last class period. This is a graded assignment, so make sure you submit this today. All right, so let's take a look at the assignment real quick. So what you're doing, you're using the spinner wheel. There's two spinner wheels, one for art elements, one for design principles. So you're doing mini exploration works. And you need a minimum of 5. You can do as many, between 5 and 9 little mini artworks. And when I say mini, I'm talking about like the size of an index card, but maybe more of a square format. So if you divide a standard paper into 6 equal boxes, that's about the size of it. All right, so what you're doing is just exploring art elements and design principles, and you're making abstract artworks. So this says click here to get to the spinner. So this is just going to take us back to the same composition skill folder again. And right here is your spinner folder. So what I would do is maybe spin 5 different art elements. All right, so just click and it's going to be, all right, so number 1 is texture. And then I would take 4 more spins and I would jot down each one of those. All right. So for example, if this is my paper, let's see if I can do this quickly. All right, so let's just say this is my sketchbook paper. And yes, you can do this digitally. All right. So if I'm dividing here, so the first one I came up with was texture. All right, so I'm just going to put a T there for texture. All right, and then I'm going to go back to Schoology, go to spin again. And I'm going to spin for 5 different ones. All right, this time I got color, so C for color. All right, and then I would, let's just say the next one was line, the next one was shape, the next one was color again, and now I've got like 5 different spins on the wheel. Oops, sorry. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go to, the other wheel. Just click here. And then I'm going to do the principles of design. And then I'm going to spin 5 times. All right. So the next one is, okay, so we've got contrast. And this was color and contrast. All right, so I'm going to label each one of these. All right, so this one's color and contrast. And then I'm going to go back, spin again. Spin again. Whoops, or not. Whoops. That was weird. I jumped around there. Somehow I jumped out. So I'm going to spin again. Ooh, emphasis. All right, so I'm going to have color and emphasis. So write it completely out. I'm just doing this to make it go a little quicker for this, this demo, but make sure you're writing out. So this is going to be color and emphasis. This is texture and contrast. So I would do that for the remaining 3. So if I'm going to create something with texture and contrast, all right, so actually I have some like textural brushes here, so I might even do something here. That's a blendy brush. Okay, this is more sketchy. That's kind of like a pixel brush. Oh, and I have some other brushes down here too. Okay, so this one's kind of chalky. This is about texture, so I don't really need a lot of color here. So maybe I'm gonna do something where I'm gonna try to create some texture. Okay, so I'm going to think of different ways that I could create texture, and then contrast is the thing that I need to go for here. I'm going to use my eraser just to texturize this a little bit. So if I was working on, my, if I was working on paper, there we go, that's still there. All right, so now I'm creating some texture. All right, and it's kind of scratchy. It's kind of a scratchy texture, and maybe I'll make it more scratchy. All right, so I got this weird little, it kind of looks like a pretzel. All right, so it's kind of like this weird scratchy thing. And then I'm just gonna use a different color. It's not gonna be a fancy color, but let's see. All right, so I need to go back to my brush. I'm just gonna get kind of like a grayish bluish color. Um, and I'm gonna try to make this more of a smooth texture. All right, so that I have some contrast of texture. I'm gonna use this little blender guy too, and I'm just gonna make it, you know what, I'm gonna put another color inside of there too, just to make it, whoops. All right, and I'm gonna use this guy, and now I'm gonna just make it this kind of like smoothie, different kind of texture. All right, so now I have some contrast of texture. It's not all the same kind of texture. I have the scratchy one, and then I have this kind of like smooth, sort of swirly, blendy stuff. All right, so now I've got some contrast of texture. Um, and yeah, even though I have contrast of texture, it doesn't look like a really cool artwork yet. So I'm gonna like play with it some more until I can finish it out and make it look like a really nice, playful artwork. All right, that actually has some kind of design to it. All right, so maybe I'm gonna do some more scratchy stuff here. So I'm gonna play until I actually have a really cool looking design that I'm really happy with. All right, that shows contrast of texture. Same thing here. If I'm going to do color and emphasis, maybe I'm going to do, I don't know, I'm going to draw something here, make it a single color. Maybe I'll use like a paint bucket. Um, maybe I'm going to dump that color in there. And then the opposite color of this kind of greeny might be this like bright fuchsia pink. So I'm going to show some color, and I want to emphasize maybe a certain area. So maybe I'm going to use some shape. Oh, I know what to do. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to do a whole bunch of, whoops, I'm going to do a whole bunch of, maybe I'm going to do like a whole bunch of dots here, for example. Ooh, why is it not pink? What's going on? Oh, because I'm on my eraser tool. All right, so then I'm just going to do a whole bunch of dots. And now nothing is emphasized, right? So I'm going to pick a different color, and I'll go with this like super bright yellow if I can find a really bright yellow. And now I've got emphasis because your eye's going to go here to this bright yellow circle because it's big and because it's the only one that is a different color. All right. So that's what you're going to do, and you're going to come up with 5 different examples. The other thing I just wanted to share with you, if you wanted to look at some more examples, there are some student examples here. You also want to make sure that you give a brief description for each one that you do. So these are all different ones that some of my students have created. So feel free to look at those to get some ideas as well. All right, guys, best of luck today, and message me if you have any questions.